everyone. It is my pleasure to bring you our next guest, Ronesha. She's stopping in from the Lone Star State of Texas, Conroe, Texas, about an hour outside of Houston. She's a wife, a proud mother of two, a woman who's skilled in the art of rebuilding, skilled in the art of being resilient, and skilled in just having a really big heart. We'll get into all of that very soon. Ronesha, welcome to the Fireside Chat. We're glad you're here.
Thank you for welcoming me.
Ronesha, please just let's go ahead and set the table. What do you currently do for a living?
So right now I am a chemical drummer in the refinery. I work out here in Conroe at a Huntsman refinery, and I drum chemicals and they get shipped out to other refineries.
Was that something you went to school for? Did you receive professional training for that? Like how'd you get into that industry?
I've been in the industry for 10 years now. I started out doing different things from fire watching to general labor work in the refinery. How I got into chemical drumming, I just got into it this year actually, in March. I came to do what is called a turnaround at this plant, and that's pretty much contractors taking on small projects, you know, whether it be a few weeks at a time or a few months at a time. And I actually came out here to do scaffolding. But I was brought in by another contractor who said, hey, you know, there's a permanent position, you know, we like the way you work if you want to put in for it. And so I put in for it and I got some training for it. And yeah, I become a chemical drummer and finally a permanent position.
Well, congratulations to you on that. Now, what drew you to the construction industry, and is it fair to say that that's a male-dominated industry? So how does it feel to kind of showcase your skill set?
Definitely a male-dominated industry. I started out, okay, so after high school, I was a chef for 5 years. I absolutely love cooking. But the restaurant I worked at, I don't want to name them, but they're in Cypress, Texas. I worked for them for a while, and as much as I love cooking, it kind of just drew my passion away, just the way that the business was ran. And I also knew that I always wanted to kind of get into some sort of dirty work. I've always been kind of a tomboyish girl. And I knew I wanted to do construction. I didn't know where to start. I didn't know if I wanted to do, you know, like home construction. And someone on social media told me, you know, hey, get your twit card and get into the plant. And I started doing some research then. And 10 years ago, I just kind of hopped into the field, and, you know, it took me on traveling different states. And yeah, it's definitely, it's not cut out for everybody, but it's a line of work. If you're a hard worker, it's for you.
So were you doing independent contractor work as well?
Yes, all of it. Well, I won't say all of it, but most of it that I did was independent contractor work. I'd worked for several different companies throughout the years. And that's pretty much the way it goes. It wasn't necessarily just a choice, but that's just the way it goes. You go in and you learn one craft, and you get hired for this company, and they'll say, you know, hey, we have a 1 month job here in Tennessee, you know, and that you get laid off after that job, which is normal. And then they'll say, you know, we have work in, you know, Texas, Victoria, Texas, or, you know, Oklahoma. And so you go all these different places and you're traveling. And that's pretty much how it goes. You know, you go from there, you learn a different craft, and you tell this company, hey, you know, I have my certification for this, you know, and you go out and you get paid different, you know, whatever it pays. But it's definitely a different world of work.
Definitely seems like a different world of work. And and I imagine another variable is being a mother at the time. So can you talk a little bit about juggling work or that kind of work with being a mom?
Yes, I did start out in the refinery in 2013. And at that time, I was just a mom of one. And my daughter was maybe 2. I can't really remember what age she was, but maybe about 2 or 3. And it was not an easy choice, simply because when I did step into the refineries, I did not know that traveling was going to be the way that I'd actually have to go. For the most part, I thought, you know, it was going to be like permanent work. No, it was a totally different ball game, but I was willing to travel. So just having family, you know, that helped me, you know, with her, helped me babysit, look after her while I traveled and, just tried to figure out how to navigate this world of work, while being a mom. Video chatting definitely helped. And that was the best I could do. When I came home, it was like, hey, just give me my payback, so much love. And yeah, that's pretty much how I did it for a few years.
Can you talk just a little bit about the support system that you had at that time?
My oldest daughter, dad, unfortunately, was how can I say it? He had an addiction. And so me and him split a little bit after she was 1, which also kind of led me to want to say, hey, I cannot continue to do the work as a chef because my pay was very low. I wanted to be a good mom. You know what I mean? I wanted to make sure that my child was taken care of, being that I knew, this was kind of going to be a single parent situation. But I also didn't want it to affect her. So that's the reason why I stepped into the refineries. And so my help was my mom and also his side of the family. His sister, which is my daughter's aunt, and his mom, they would all come together and help me. They would babysit her. They would keep her full time while I went out of town and worked. So I definitely had a great support system, and still to this day, I thank them. I thank them because without them, I wouldn't have been able to make that move at all.
Can you tell me about these 2 daughters that you're raising, Victoria and Jemiah?
Yes. So Victoria, she will be 14. She is such a sweetheart. She's such an understanding person. She's an amazing girl. I love my baby so much. I also have Jemiah, she turned 3 today, and she is such a smart baby. She's a pandemic baby, and we just love her so much. She is super, super smart. She does like some unordinary things, and we're like, how did this girl know this? But being a mom is one of the most beautiful things that any woman can be, and I adore it. I love it. I make sure I tell my kids I love them every day, and that's just like the biggest flex that I have is being a mom. So that's the reason why I do what I do. I don't care how hard I have to work. Being a mom is what I'm doing it for.
If you had to teach them one thing, what would it be?
I would teach them kindness, because the world is pretty versatile, and kindness goes a long way. We need more of it every single day. Without it, this world would be a pretty bad place. So kindness is definitely something I'll teach them, continue to teach them.
Now, Ronesha, you were on my radar because someone told me that you were the embodiment of kindness. Can you speak to why someone would say that about you? What things do you do out of the kindness of your heart or in your community?
That was very surprising to hear. Even you guys contacted me saying someone said that. It was surprising to hear because when you do stuff out of kindness, you don't really expect, well, me personally, I speak for myself, I don't really expect it to be acknowledged because I feel like it's something that we should do. I feel like helping others, it's not an obligation, it's a choice, but it's definitely a choice that I try to make every day, whether I'm just helping one person a day, no matter how big or small, that's something that I want to do. I think it's needed.
When I first heard your story, I imagine there were different mindsets in your life, say 10 years ago, 3 years ago, compared to now. And I really circled 2019 and 2020 as dates that I think people can, that say a lot about you and some of the challenges that you faced. Can you walk us through that period of time?
Those were some challenging times. I'll start out with saying 2019 did start out as a very good year for me. It was unfortunately for the refinery I worked at, they had a chemical fire in a nitrogen tank. But fortunately for me, that was my highest paying job. So it started my year off really good. Um, I also found out I was pregnant in 2019. I didn't know for about 3 months, but I found out I was pregnant with my baby girl, and I took on was supposed to be a 4-year job in a refinery in La Porte, Texas. I was going to be doing some fire watching. Everything was going pretty smooth. I would say when I was about 8 months, I had a really hard time with a supervisor that was there at the refinery who, I don't mean to sound mean when I say this, but he kind of just went against the fact that I was pregnant. He felt like I should still be able to, do the norm, no matter how, far along in my pregnancy I was. I should still be able to climb the towers. I should still be able to, flag forklifts and just do the normal things that I would normally do at work, even with the hand tools and everything. And some things I just could not do once I got so far along in my pregnancy. And so I was let go, unfortunately. And a few days after the incident happened, I went back up there and I said, hey, I'm not gonna let someone knock me down like that. So I went and spoke to a few of our safety mentors at the job who did an investigation, and they brought me back to work. So I got my job back. I went on leave so that I can have my daughter Jemiah, and that was January of 2020. And shortly after that, went back to work. I was back at work for 4 days when they started saying, everybody was getting sick. We didn't necessarily know that it was COVID just then, because COVID was kind of like spread out on the news, I want to say like the end of February, the beginning of March. So a lot of people didn't know why they were getting sick, but they were. Eventually, we all were laid off again. And from there on, times just got kind of tough because I lost my truck due to that. My truck was repossessed because I couldn't keep up with the notes. I tried, but it was hard, and then I already just had Maya. So going back to work, right then and there, it wasn't easy. So we pretty much, me and my husband had one income, and things were kind of tough. So making it through COVID time definitely was tough. In April of 2020 is when we decided to make the move from Houston down to Willis, Texas, which is just an hour outside of Houston. We kind of downsized in our home until we can figure out, what is the next best move for us. But I also knew that there were construction work in this area. So, I just said, I'll be applying at places, I'll do what I can to, be able to start back, contributing to my family, to my household. And luckily, none of us caught COVID, even though, we did our best not to, but it was pretty tough. COVID did really hit my family pretty hard. My mom caught COVID, my sister caught COVID, and that was just extremely tough for us because my mom is like my best friend. I couldn't go to her house and check on her. She kind of like forbid me to come because she's like, hey, you got the kids. I don't want to pass on COVID to you, and then, you pass it on to them. So we kind of went through a tough time during COVID, but we're better now because we're doing our best to just take our time and rebuild our lives.
Can you talk about what it means or how it feels now to kind of rebuild in another city? I know it's an hour outside of Houston, but you were planning on being in Houston for a while.
I was planning on being in Houston for a while, but I will say that I've always had thoughts of moving away simply because I am from the greater Third Ward area of Houston, which is known for the high crime. I was not a fan of Houston schools. My daughter had to attend HISD. So to be completely honest and transparent, making the move to Willis, which is a smaller town, they're more family oriented and a little more organized, was, I would say, my best move. We have excelled since we've been here. We absolutely love it. We love the peace and quiet. I love that the crime rate is low. I had an issue in Houston where when I would take Victoria to get on the school bus for school in the morning, we see, things we didn't need to see. How do you, explain it to your child? It's like, you really can't. So, just to step outside of that and get away from that, expose my child to less. It was, it was a big move. It was a good thing.
Can you talk about your community in Conroe?
I would say the community is close knit. They have a Facebook page where we keep each other updated on things. If there's yard sales, people are posting them. If there's birthdays, people are posting them. If we want to get together and do homeless things, we can do that. If we want to, have church organizations and just anything, everybody communicates really good. And I love that. I love that everybody's looking out for each other. We're figuring out how can we help this person. Around Christmas time, there was a post that someone made that says, hey, we can have people in their home that they don't need. Maybe you could pray with someone, or maybe you could give it away to someone. People got on there and named things that they needed. And there was some exchanges done. And I think that's a beautiful thing. I think finding ways to help other people without questioning, oh, why do you need help, or you're lazy, or, just downgrading people's demeanor for things. I think that's a beautiful thing to be able to help, needing help in return, or being able to help people without wondering why they need help. I think that's a beautiful thing.
Where does that come from in terms of you? I mean, you having that quality as well as being able to help without wanting some help in return, or needing some help in return. That everybody doesn't have that. Where did you develop that?
I definitely developed that from my mom. Growing up, just watching my mom, she always had such a big heart. And still to this day, she does. My mom, she was one of those people, and she still is. She have you a care package ready when she comes to her house. She have, whether it's food, whether it's hygiene products. I see her, give a homeless person money, buy them something to eat. And she would say, it doesn't matter what they sign say. It doesn't matter what they're asking for. If you're going to give it, you're going to give it from your heart. You're not going to worry about what they do with it, because you know the reason why you did it. You know the reason why you gave it. If you're being genuine, God knows your heart. And I've always watched her do that. And it always made me, even in school, I started it, and I didn't realize until I was an adult, but I started it in school, because if other kids didn't have lunch money or something like that, or we was in a snack line and, they didn't have something that they wanted, I was giving away money, and to me, to this day, it still doesn't make a difference. It's just something that I did from my heart. It's something that I've always watched my mom do, and I genuinely feel like, hey, I want to do it too.
I love that. And it's definitely, she definitely rubbed off on you. Now, when we first learned of you, a friend of yours told us, basically wrote in an email saying that you were someone worth celebrating or recognizing, just for the heart that you have, and the journey that you've gone through. I know you shared a little bit about your journey having to relocate from Houston. How does that feel to know you had that kind of effect on people and coworkers around you?
I started working with her in a refinery. I want to say it was maybe 2019. And we were working night shift in Victoria, Texas. And I remember meeting her. We were getting off work, and she had a flat. And in my rearview mirror, I saw her pull over. And so I was like, that's kind of odd. So I pulled over, and come to find out she had a flat. And it was like maybe 6 a.m. So there were no tire shops open. So me and her, we got out there, and we, did what we could. We changed the flat. And ever since then, me and Tracy has been like this. But we both been in this field a long time. So it took us separate ways, because you don't always get to, hang with your best coworker or your favorite coworker. You know, you might be in Oklahoma and they might be in California, you know, and so that's how life has been for me and Tracy. But she's a beautiful person, and that was the reason why I asked her to join my group when the UpTogether ambassadors group happened. But I just spoke with her because she'd always post her son, and I never met her son. But I didn't know that, I guess, the neighborhood that I grew up in, mutual people knew him. And so when I saw her son posted a few days ago, well, last week, I immediately said, that's Tracy's son. And I saw the RIPs and stuff, and I was so heartbroken for her because I know how much she loved her son. And I got a hold to her, and she couldn't even talk. So I went down to Houston to visit her, and you know, it's just such a sad thing. But she's absolutely a beautiful person, and she's just like me. She'll give you anything that she has. So I just want to, while I'm on here, just say I'm sending a prayer out to you, Tracy, and I thank you so much for sending the email to recognize me, because I appreciate, you know, somebody saying, hey, this is what I think of you. And I thank you.
We definitely send our condolences to her and her family as well. She was one of the first people you invited to the UpTogether Ambassadors Fund, and this actually was something new that we launched last summer, a 6-month UpTogether Ambassadors Fund. I'd love to get your take on the experience, but let's first start off with, why was she one of the first people that you invited to be part of your group in the UpTogether Ambassadors Fund?
Because outside of my mom, Tracy is probably my only friend outside of family. She's like family. So definitely she was going to be one of the first people I asked.
Can you talk to us about your experience in the 6-month fund?
Definitely. It was a great experience, of course, when you have help outside of your normal everyday help. Me personally, it was kind of hard at the moment, and so UpTogether emailing me with that experience, I appreciated it so much, because I'm one of those people who I make just a little bit over the income limit to get, you know, government help and stuff like that. And so with inflation going on, it was definitely getting hard to, you know, budget out groceries. You know, grocery bills get so expensive. And so that is what helped me. That's what helped me get by. That's what helped me obtain my groceries. That's what helped me obtain my hygiene products. And for it to be something for 6 months, I've never had help like that. It was definitely greatly appreciated. So I thank you guys for that, because stuff like that, you don't see it often, especially a person like me who I'm doing the best I can to be a giver. And then some, you know, whether it's a person or organization coming to help me, I was grateful, very grateful, and I still am to this day.
And now I know one of the things about this fund, you were actually able to invite other people that you knew, other people in your community to try and build a group and interact in the community. Was that a difficult process for you, or was it easy to in your opinion, to find people to invite?
I wouldn't say it was difficult, but some people that didn't know UpTogether or about it was kind of skeptical until, you know, I explained to them, hey, you know, this is an organization that has been helping me throughout, you know, the time that COVID started, because I did start out doing a few surveys, and you know, some of them paid, you know, $20 or, you know, whatever the case may be. After I explained to, you know, everyone pretty much what UpTogether was for and what it was about, and that I had been receiving help from UpTogether throughout the pandemic, it was pretty easy, you know, to get people on board. And then, you know, we were able to, you know, make us a group chat in a meeting and just say, hey, you know, whether we get together and do a school supply drive or feeding the homeless twice a month, you know, that's something that we can do together, you know. And so, Yeah, I mean, it was pretty easy once I explained pretty much that UpTogether was a legit organization, and that they were doing surveys, about the pandemic, just to help and understand what's going on.
Well, I love the fact that you were able to kind of explain what UpTogether does and kind of what we're about. I know we are an organization that makes investments into individuals and families that are already showing initiative, and then trusting them to choose what to do next with the funds, what to do next, rather than just dictating where they should spend it and how they can spend it. What's your thought on that approach? Does it feel different to you, and why?
No, it doesn't feel different. I've learned that however you go about it, helping people is like, it's definitely something that you do from the heart. But like UpTogether as an organization, I'm pretty sure, somebody came together and said, hey, this is something that I want to do. I mean, me personally, if I can do it, I would do it too. I would make a whole organization on helping people. If I understood how to build that, I would. I wouldn't say it's something that, you have to be on. Like, if you're going to help someone, just do it. Just do it. Don't record it, don't do it for likes, don't do it for social media, do it from your heart. Because I'm pretty sure whoever is up there and UpTogether thinking about how they can help the next person, they're doing it from their heart.
We often hear that people don't know who to invite to their groups. How did you decide who to invite?
Well, first, I immediately thought of family. And then I do have a large amount of associates due to me working in the refinery. So I definitely, went down the line on, my list of people that I know, in the refineries as well, because I know that we all can, take our time to at least gather once a month. So I consider that as well. I didn't necessarily want to do social media because I wanted it to be people that I knew. I didn't want to come into it meeting someone, and then I guess kind of trying to figure out, where are they from? Are they going to be able to gather with us? I wanted to do people that I knew. So I used, like I said, family, friends, and people from, me working in the refinery, the construction field.
Do you think that sparked the kind of engagement within your group because they were people that you knew?
Definitely. It gave people that I knew a way to come together. We were able to meet and do a very small school supply drive, and then we did feed the homeless twice. So it was pretty easy to get everybody to meet up and come together. You guys have helped me so much that I do tell people, hey, sign up. You never know when you'll come across some help from UpTogether. Like, it has really, really helped me.
Your group, and especially the drive that you had, would those activities have happened without you building that group?
No, definitely not. Because as much as I would love to, I cannot do it on my own. And to be completely honest, the group definitely helps to put it on my mind, to get people together. So without that group, no, I probably wouldn't. I'm pretty sure 100% that would not have happened. I definitely needed that group to put it on my mind to get people together and say, hey, let's try to do this. At least we can try. And so we were able to do it. So yeah, with that group is the reason why, we were able to do the school supply drive.
What do you feel needs to change in order for you not to have it? You and other people who are living right there, making just enough where they don't qualify for certain benefits. What needs to change?
I think there should be a change in requirements as far as certain government assistance, because people like me, if I'm working, it's like, hey, you're just fine. You're working, you don't need the help. Then you have some people that's not working at all, who gets all the help, and it's like, some of us, we're working, we're drowning. We might be working, but we're still drowning, especially when, the cost of living is going up, the cost of groceries is going up, the cost of gas is going up, but not the cost of what we get paid, or minimum wage. So that change, I'm pretty sure it will take a lot of work to do, but I really feel like some changes should be made, you know, because just because we have a job doesn't mean that everything in our life is okay. You know, some people were still needing help. So that's why, you know, I still try to be grateful and be positive and just remember that, you know, although I know I need help, that still doesn't stop me from helping the next person as well, who may need way more help than I do. So, you know, if I can keep that mindset, you know, I keep it going every day, just the way I am, you know, with being positive and being able to help at least one person a day. And I hope that everyone can do that.
Thank you for your time. I know you're doing this on your lunch break. So you spent your lunch break chatting with us, and we're all better because of that. So thank you very much for joining us on the Fireside Chat.
Thank you guys for having me.